This is Kathy from Gadget Stop 321, and today I'm taking a look at my Lamy CP1. I've got it inked up with Vinta, which is a nice dark hunter green. In fact, it's almost black, and I thought it would pair nicely with this CP1. I'm going to go ahead and do a writing sample, and I'll talk about some of the things that I've discovered about this pen that I like and don't like over the few years that I've been using it. I've got the extra fine nib installed on it right now. I'm writing on a little Marmon Nemesign notepad, and it feels this pen and ink combination feel good on this. I was writing earlier in my Hobonichi, and which has Tomoe River paper, and it was just a little too smooth. And normally I really enjoy writing in my Hobonichi with my fountain pens, but this was just a little too smooth. I didn't, you don't have enough control, and my handwriting just wasn't as good. Now, in my viewfinder, this looks pretty much like a black ink, but it's a nice dark green. I really enjoy this. It's surprisingly pleasant to write with. I didn't know how I would feel about this very dark green. I thought, it might be a little too boring, but I enjoy writing with it. It's seems to be a good flow. In fact, the test of that will be if I try it in my Kaweco Lilliput. I think this would be a nice pen to pair it with, at least to test how good the flow is. It's just this extra fine nib feels smooth. Like I said, in my Hobonichi, I felt, for me, it was too smooth. And you can, as you write, you get just the hint of, oh, this is a green ink, it's not black. I like it. I haven't been writing with this pen as much recently. The Lamy that I've been writing with is my Lamy logo that I took the gold nib off my Lamy Studio and put it on here. And talk about smooth. This is a very smooth writer, and I've been writing with it a lot lately. And I toyed with the idea of putting the gold nib on this pen, but I don't know, just the look of this pen, it has a very military look, and I just like having the stainless steel nib on there. It gives it that rugged feel, and with this ink, I just really like it. It makes a nice, just an everyday writer. So I'm looking forward to using this in the upcoming week. Now, some of the things that I wanted to mention that I maybe haven't mentioned in previous videos about this pen, now I tried to look it up today. What is this pen made of? It is a metal pen, but I'm not entirely sure whether it's brass or titanium. Some places say it's titanium. Other people argue that Lamy made a titanium pen, but it's not titanium CP1, but it's not this one. I'm not sure. I tend to lean toward thinking that it's brass just by taking a flashlight and shining it, shining it up in the cap. It's got kind of a brass color to it in there. You can see where it, whatever the finish is on this, stops. It's got a brass color. So I lean towards saying that it's a brass pen. It's, like you can see, this, it's very thin. So it's light, but it doesn't feel unsubstantial. It feels like a nice, sturdy pen. Now, I mentioned the finish. It's a nice, flat black finish. I like the feel of it. It's grippy. But unlike some matte finishes that get glossy over time as your hand oils, whatever, or I don't know if it's hand oils that cause it to get glossy or if it's just the finish wearing. This, I've had this for years and used it, and nowhere does it look like, you know, getting those clear or those glossy sections. The finish is holding up very well. I like that this pen posts. It's super long and it is a little bit back weighted, but with it being kind of as light of a pen as it is, it's not uncomfortable, and I haven't noticed my hand getting fatigued. It's a cartridge converter pen. It came with the converter. I think my Lamy logo did not. It was the Lamy logo was about $20 less expensive when I bought it than this pen. I think I paid around $70 for this pen. It looks like they're going for around $60 now. I did see some places selling it for $40, so or in the 40s. I'm not sure about that, so shop around if you're interested in one of these. But it's a converter, and the section is so narrow. The section is made out of plastic, but it's so narrow. Unlike most fountain pens, it doesn't have that section that the converter slides up into. It just has the little bit there that goes into the converter. So there's nothing really around it, wrapped around it to stabilize it. And so you get, I don't know if you can hear that, just the tiniest bit of rattle, just enough to, I wish it didn't do that. But I'm sure there's a way you could fix that. Maybe wrap a piece of paper around it to kind of cushion it in there. It's not a huge deal. There's not a cap liner, and someone asked me about this recently. They said, or there's not like a plastic, I don't know if you'll be able to see it up in there. There's not a plastic cap liner. There's some kind of metal, a different colored metal insert in there. I think that might have something to do with the capping mechanism. But I do have trouble sometimes with this hard starting. Let's see, I've had the cap off now for a little while. Let's see if it'll do it. Yeah, it was a little wispy there starting on that first L. So it does hard start sometimes. I love that you can interchange the nibs. I've got the extra fine on this one, and I think I bought this pen with a medium nib on it, and I was really disappointed because I do like fine and extra fine nibs, and I bought this earlier on in my fountain pen days, and I didn't really like the medium for everyday writing, so I was able to just order an extra fine replacement, and I really enjoy this extra fine nib. And so I have 3 Lamys, and so I have 3 different stainless steel nibs, the extra fine, fine, and medium. And I do enjoy playing with the medium from time to time, but it doesn't get as much use as the other 2. And I absolutely love the 14 karat extra fine. I love that nib. It came on my studio, and like I said, I've moved it over to the logo. So that's something that I love about these Lamy pens, that you can get replacement nibs, that you can switch nibs around on pens that you own. And this is just a cool looking pen. And I love it paired with this new ink from Vinta that I picked up. And I'm enjoying this. I'm glad that I've tried a Vinta ink. I'm going to try some more of them. All right. If you found this video helpful, please give me a thumbs up. And if you'd like to see more videos like this, please subscribe to my channel.